Hey guys, it's Corrina, and I am really excited that I am going to be the subject, or one of the subjects, of a new documentary project about ASMR. So I was contacted by a UT student, University of Texas, here in Austin, and she's doing her semester project is a documentary on ASMR. And so she reached out to me and actually came to one of our shoots where she took a lot of fun behind the scenes B-roll, or just footage without audio that will then get dropped over the interview that we're going to share with you in this video. So I actually did almost 2 hours of interviewing with her, and I was only able to get permission to post part of the interview here on YouTube. So we're going to include some snippets from the interview for you to enjoy. And if you want to see the full, I think it's an hour and 40 minutes, the full interview, then you can check that out over on our Patreon page. And the easiest way is to either visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
To me, ASMR is not just a form of entertainment. It's not just some cool stuff to listen to. To me, it truly is a part of our self-care, a part of our health care, a part of a way that we can take care of our bodies and kind of refill our engine, so to speak. Because if we're always in that stressful state, there will be an expiration point where our bodies no longer are able to create any energy at all. And that's that adrenal dysfunction that you'll hear a lot of doctors talk about. So once you have created that problem in the body, it can be healed, it can be fixed, but it's a lot easier to prevent it in the first place. So again, that kind of comes back to this whole idea that if we can get people sleeping better, and of course, as a health coach, I would love to see people eating better and doing all of the other things too, but just this one simple piece of getting better sleep, spending less time in that really stressed out response, if we just did those two things alone, we would see a lot of improvements in people's health. And I think that that would kind of, serve as the domino effect, so to speak, to help people getting healthier and just in general, making people feel better. We could talk about people's mood. We could talk about how people fight, I can't even get on Facebook anymore because everyone's just fighting with each other. I'm like, hey, go watch an ASMR video. It'll help you relax, I think that the most important thing to me is that people recognize that ASMR has a tremendous value. This is not just some fad. This is not just some randomly entertaining thing. This is not just, the weird side of YouTube. This is a real problem that is being addressed through what could be construed as pretty strange videos. But the real problem is that stress and stress-related diseases are of epidemic proportions. They are affecting people in their everyday life, making them feel bad. They're affecting people in their health, in their ability to survive this planet and this world that we've been given. The body has to be able to sleep. The body has to be able to come out of that fight or flight stress response. And if it doesn't, that's a life or death situation. So to me, the intrinsic health value, health promoting, health giving value of these types of videos is really the most important thing. And I feel is not really acknowledged by the mainstream in a lot of ways. Again, they would much rather keep it as this like kind of weird, strange thing. It's kind of a, phenomenon, woo-woo, it's all bizarre. But actually, it's speaking to the most basic intrinsic needs that every person has, which is just for somebody to be nurturing and compassionate toward them. If we lived in a society and a culture where there was a little bit more compassion, a little bit more love and nurturing and less judgment and pitting people against each other, there probably wouldn't be as much of a need for ASMR. But that is the world we're living in. And if we don't do something to try and ameliorate the really stressful response that's being like purposefully created by most of the mainstream media and by most of the things that we take in terms of our news and movies and all of this, that we're just going to see these health problems get worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, man, if I can whisper into a funny microphone and help people get healthier, that has so much value. So I've been a YouTuber for almost a decade now. I started on the Psychetruth channel, which is a health and wellness channel. It was 250,000 subscribers when I started. So in the time I've been with Psychetruth, we went from 250,000 subscribers to 2.5 million subscribers. So that channel just grew and grew. And it was actually in the comments of Psychetruth where we were first exposed to the term ASMR. So we were making massage tutorial videos. Interestingly, we started noticing that a lot of the comments on those massage tutorial videos were, "This video gives me ASMR. Your voice gives me ASMR. I watch this video every single night to fall asleep." And that was kind of our first introduction to seeing that there's a population of people who A, need help sleeping, and B, who find a lot of relief in, listening to a relaxing video. In the case of a massage tutorial, it's obviously very calming, but I think that the thing that really is most resonant for people is just the compassion in the person's voice. We're so used to having commercials and TV shows and, pop culture, whatever it is, whether it's the news, whether it's the things we watch for entertainment, they're always going 100 miles a minute. They're trying to keep you on the edge of your seat. They're trying to elicit emotional responses from you. Usually those emotional responses are not deep relaxation and sleep, right? So most of the things are just kind of on the other side of the spectrum, or I kind of think of it like a pendulum. Like the pendulum swings really far in things that stress you out, things that keep you on the edge of your seat, things that keep you engaged in a TV show, but unfortunately also perpetuate this stress response, which as a holistic health coach, I've learned extensively how detrimental this is to our health. So we had the Psychetruth channel. We're making health videos, making yoga videos. We start noticing on those massage tutorials that people are commenting things like, "This video helps me sleep. Your voice gives me ASMR." So we started kind of looking into it, and I immediately was able to understand what the concept was. Because I'm coming from this holistic health coach background where we're really aware not only of how unpleasant being stressed out is, but how detrimental it is to our health. Like, you literally cannot heal, you cannot repair, you have no immune system function if you're not sleeping. If you're always in that cortisol response, the fight or flight, as they like to call it, not only does that feel really stressful and unpleasant while you're in that state, but it's actually really terrible for us. So obviously that state of the nervous system is there for survival reasons. If we needed to fight or flight, we would be really happy to have that push of cortisol and adrenaline that helps us be able to do that. But the problem in modern society is that most people are spending most of their time in that state, to all of these different detriments to our health. Again, that's like your immune system, your literally every heal and repair of every organ system in your body is mainly handled while you're sleeping or while you're in that parasympathetic state of the nervous system. So when I started looking into ASMR and kind of studying that style of video, is very clear to me, like, oh, these are videos designed to help bring you into that more relaxed part of the nervous system, designed to help you fall asleep. Of course, a lot of people either go to the videos just to feel more relaxed or reduce their anxiety. A lot of people watch them literally to help them fall asleep. So I think all of us can imagine or maybe you've even been in that situation before where you're laying in bed and your mind is just going 100 miles a minute and it feels like you can't turn it off. So what do? Because sitting there going, go to sleep, stop thinking, is really difficult. It's not easy to just flip a switch in our brain. But interestingly, what these sounds, the way that they affect us, the way that they affect our psychology is very triggering to the nervous system to downregulate out of that stressful response. So by having somebody speak to you in a very compassionate tone and a very caring tone and with an intention to help you relax or help you feel more calm, not only is that a stark contrast to pretty much everything else we're exposed to throughout our day. But it's also something that even as our social relationships, I feel, are diminished by things like social media and the internet and us going 100 miles a minute to be really productive, we don't often have that same social relationship with people either. And so a lot of people, I think, get the sensation from ASMR that it's very motherly, it's very nurturing. And I think that is really indicative of how much that nurturing, caring attitude is just missing in our culture. And certainly in the United States, as we become more and more like geared towards being productive and, mothers are encouraged to go out and have careers and do all these other things. Like, I think all of that's wonderful, but it's also created this deficit of loving, nurturing, caring compassion that, again, not only is unpleasant, but also has kind of railroaded us into, a series of stress-related diseases that are, like, in my opinion, reaching like epidemic proportions. Like, you can look at the stress-related diseases and see that everything from heart disease, diabetes, all of these different things, high blood pressure, you name it, like all of these different areas, a lot of those things come back to stress and inflammation and all of these kind of concepts in functional medicine that, largely just come from people aren't sleeping enough. People are always in that fight or flight response. And to me, ASMR is all about helping them to get out of that state. And sometimes it takes, some really intense sounds in your ears in order to do that. And, the more that you have going on in the monkey mind, as they say in Buddhism, the more that monkey mind is just going and the more that people become adapted to always being in that state. Because our bodies adapt to whatever we're doing. So if people are always in that state, your body starts going, oh, you need more adrenaline. You need more cortisol. And it's trying to help you. It's a survival mechanism. So your body is thinking that it's helping you survive by creating more cortisol and adrenaline. But it's actually really, really detrimental to our health in all of these other ways. So, I don't know if I answered your question, but so we're introduced to that concept from the Psychetruth channel, from those massage videos.
I hope that you enjoyed these little excerpts from the interview. Again, if you want to view the full 1 hour and 40-minute interview, you can check that out over on our Patreon page. I am so excited to see her documentary. I'm just so flattered that she wanted to interview me and talk about ASMR. So thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.